All right, I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners Workshop Meeting for March 13, 2024. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Lestracco.
Here.
Commissioner Partha.
Here.
I'd like to ask Commissioner Lestracco to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. All right, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
townhouses, which was part of the zoning hearing board relief, and that was granted. They have a land development plan for 40 townhomes. Interestingly enough, relative to what the property is, that particular part of the property is now, the land development that's proposed will actually have less impervious surface than currently exists. Doesn't usually happen that way, but it's just the way things play out. At any rate, the accesses to the site are not changing. This parking lot, Aaron, do you? Thank you. So
You might, Aaron, could you go back? Sorry to jump in, Brian. Could you go back one?
this is not getting approved. Cut me off, that's it. Go ahead.
You talk, I'll point.
At any rate, yes. Thank you, Justin. So that's the area that will be developed. There is currently the one primary access that will serve this townhouse development. As the board recalls, the parking area extends over into what used to be Ziegler's and Ledestries. There are a series of access easements to allow for cross-traffic through the parcels. When Ziegler's had it, they came in and they consolidated, then they undid it. It was kind of interesting, but at any rate, none of the accesses onto Broad Street are changing. The 40 townhouses will continue to access the driveway to the north, right there, thank you. This will require a PennDOT permit. That permit is in process, primarily for change of use. They're not anticipating needing to make any physical improvements except, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, a couple of handicap ramps?
Yeah. Cap ramp here, new crosswalk. Actually reducing the sidewalk connection out to Broad Street. Obviously, internally out. Egress location, it's not changing.
So that, like, relative to big picture stuff, the project won't require any new curb cuts out onto Broad Street. At any rate, can we jump to the next plan?
Yes.
Please.
But Justin, next time you speak, please speak into
Oh,
that
sorry.
microphone, or else it's as if it never happened. Thank you.
So, this is the current plan under consideration, 40 townhomes. The proposed driveway access system will all be privately owned and maintained. When WB was looking into the property, they sat down with staff, including Mike Waldron, regarding access for both passenger vehicles, fire trucks, et cetera. We worked out driveway widths and so on and so forth. The current site is served by a small detention basin at what I'll call Plan South, the bottom of the plan down there. That existing basin will be removed and replaced by a larger underground stormwater management system. The discharge location will not be changing. It's currently, there's a discharge pipe generally in that area that extends, it flows out into the hospital property, which is below the current tract. There's not a whole lot of mystery to this. It's townhouses and private driveways. We have a review letter from February 12th. It includes a series of waivers. I would say, as I say at the Planning Commission, most of these are the usual suspects regarding landscaping and some widths of access drives and things like that. Nothing really of significance. I can certainly go through them if the board's interested, but there's nothing about the plan or the waiver requests that certainly gives me any reason to be concerned. Nothing that we either haven't approved before or recommended approval of before. My biggest concern with the project was stormwater management. It's been appropriately managed with the proposed design. As I mentioned, the existing discharge point for the existing detention basin is not changing. And other than that, it's a relatively straightforward project. Just taking a bunch of townhouses, adding them in. One of the issues that the Planning Commission did go through pretty thoroughly was pedestrian access. Justin had touched on there will be a new sidewalk that goes out to Broad Street. Included with that, there is a circulation pattern, I'll call it, or system throughout the site The island, I'll call it, has sidewalk around the entire thing, in addition to the sidewalk that runs out to Broad Street. One last thing I think that's important for the board to be aware of. When Ziegler's was in with their various land developments, part of those approvals involved and included the construction of a fairly large berm to the east, and that was constructed, heavily vegetated. Most of the plantings that are there have survived and are thriving. The plan proposes to basically fill in the gaps where anything is dead or dying. So what we wanted to do at staff level is make sure that as part of this design, that berm at a minimum stayed intact. So they will be adding to it to fill in the gaps. There is also sufficient landscaping around the rest of the site. So fairly straightforward. I don't know, Justin, if you wanted to add?
No, I don't have much to add other than that. That's a pretty good summary of our proposal. One thing I will note, this will be owned and maintained by a homeowners association. The unit owners will own their unit, but they will not own the ground. So it will be managed by a professional management company, from the landscaping to the stormwater management, to the water system, to the roads, to keep that uniform look. That's really about it. We did meet with the Planning Commission twice. I think, as Brian mentioned, last meeting, we did go through the plan, incorporated their feedback. They did recommend preliminary final plan approval with the waivers, and really here this evening to obviously answer any questions or comments, but would be seeking preliminary final plan approval from the board with waivers if so fit. Would be at your next meeting. Right. Just a consensus.
Secondary exit?
There is not. This is the main entrance in and out, but there will be an agreement with this property from an emergency services standpoint that should that get blocked, that needs to remain open to get into the community.
Well, let's add to that, Justin. This caused, I think, quite a bit of confusion at the Planning Commission meeting, so I want to take a minute and make sure we don't have that same issue. Aaron, could you go back to the aerial? As I had mentioned, there are several cross-access easements that will be retained, and they'll be reconfigured relative to the respective current ownership. So, and I apologize, my eyes are crappy, but yeah, there is access, there is another access in case of an emergency. So you go from, Justin, could you go over to the parking lot behind the
Here?
bridal shop, whatever the heck it is?
Yes, there's an entrance here.
Yeah, they have an entrance there. They also have access to this site. It's not intended to be used on a day-to-day basis, but as I mentioned, there are cross-access easements. So the primary access for the property is the driveway to the right. However, there are other ways to get through the maze of paving that's back there and out to Broad Street if you had to.
So the middle driveway looks like it's got to go over a median, right?
So this remains, comes in here, you can get in here to this driveway here with these spots. This goes around the back to a parking lot, and then there's an entrance exit here, and then that can come down. So that configuration and movement will remain.
I guess I'm more talking about rescue vehicles. Fire truck can get through there?
Fire truck can come through here through our property. Fire truck can come through here. We did run those truck turning templates.
They can't go through the center one.
I think they can go through here. Yeah. They really have 1, 2, 3 access to the 40 townhomes.
I wanted to make a point to make sure that you were comfortable with that, because the way the plans are set up, and this is not an error in terms of the plans being prepared, but the way the plans cut off the majority of the former Ziegler site, it kind of looks like there's nothing there.
Yeah. So from a legal
So-
perspective, all those easements,
Yes, they will be.
all those, okay.
Yes. And frankly, that's something that with each of the successive land developments on this particular parcel, we've been mindful of that. And because of the fact that now there's going to be residences back there, we will make sure that all of the access easements are.
They will stay
Maintained.
intact.
Each home can maintain or has parking available for 2 cars?
Yeah, each of the homes will either be a 1 or a 2-car garage, and then every home will have driveway to have 2 cars in the driveway, as well as overflow parking. So I believe we're required 100 parking spots. We're providing 108.
And that is, we did, as part of the couple of planning commission meeting discussions, we did look at where some of the overflow parking is to try to have it be dispersed.
I don't
as-
see, where is it on it? That
So
plan?
there's existing spots up here. I believe there's 13 spots here, and then you can kind of see the faint outline of cars. This whole side is on-street parking, as well as this whole side is on-street parking. We did float that by the fire marshal and get his input on turning availability. He had input on which side could have no parking and what could, and he's conditionally approved this based off of, we need street name approvals and address approval.
So it's a 2-lane road, a 3rd lane's parking, right?
What's that?
And they can travel in both directions on those roads?
Correct.
They allowed parking in front of those homes?
No, you can't park in front of the home, in front of the units, no.
But it's mostly because of driveway configuration.
Right.
There's just nowhere.
Cars, I'm not sure whether the cars, what they are in front of those homes. I can't.
Yeah, and there will be, I'm almost positive there's no parking signs there and there, so if somebody gets the idea, that's not going to happen. And HOAs are fantastic at policing each other's parking habits.
Commissioner, I think that's just going to be where the name of the street goes. It sort of does look like a car from back there.
Oh, geez, yeah. Other
Right.
questions?
Any other questions? Consensus, then we'll put you on the agenda for 2 weeks from now. Yep, okay. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Great, thanks so much.
Item 3, the maintenance period for 2618 North Broad Street land development.
Thank you. We expect this to be up for consideration, if not at the next meeting, the April meeting. This project is a small project on, as the address suggests, on Broad Street. When it came through the township for approvals, it was referred to as the Monterey land development, just a small strip. Construction is just about done. Our construction management guys have reached out to the contractor and the applicant. There are a couple of last-minute things to take care of, but they are just about ready to go. So like I said, if they've gotten everything done to our satisfaction, you'll get a recommendation letter from me saying we're recommending project can be certified as complete. If they're not quite done, it would be for the April meetings. But we'd like to kind of put this one in the books. It's been a while.
Okay. Public Works Committee. All right, Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Lestracco.
Thank you. So there'll be some new sessions for spring fitness classes. That's coming soon for the Get Fit classes. Please check our Hatfield Township Facebook page and website for details on new classes, and that will be starting in May. For outdoor pickleball will start again this spring. Registration will be open for the spring and summer program next month. And then we have Earth Day coming up soon. Our annual Earth Day event is scheduled for Saturday, April 27th. There'll be 2 collection sites which will operate from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That'll be at the Public Works Complex with the shredding there as well, and then Clean Earth will be part of that. We will also host several cleanup sites throughout Hatfield Township parks, trails, and open space. And if there's any volunteers interested, please email abroudy@hatfield.org. And there's going to be more details and information. Please check our website later this month. Also, Earth Day pop-up event, our popular pop-up event series will be returning in 2024, and we are going to be kicking things off with the Earth Day event. That's April 27th. And then the event will take place from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And again, there'll be a lot more details coming up on location, activities. So again, check our website. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. I might have more information then. And then that's it, I think. We just check that website, check our Facebook, and you'll see all the events there. Thank you very much.
All right, good report. Before we continue, I neglected to mention, that the board met in executive session at the beginning, just before the start of this meeting, to discuss potential litigation. All right, Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Partha.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Are we doing the grant application for tonight?
Good, Mr. President. Just quickly, the board last month authorized the bids to go out for Clemens Park. We're trying to find every opportunity for funding to help offset some of the costs. This would be a resolution to submit the County Monco 2040 program seeking $200,000 to help pay for the
Right, that's a real good resolution. All right, then, is there a motion for approval of Resolution 24-07 with regard to the grant application submission for Clemens Park as just described?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Rogers,
Second.
second by Commissioner Lustracco. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 2407, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Okay, thank you for catching that. Next is a Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Partha.
Yeah, thank you. Today we had new police station groundbreaking. Today we have, and I don't know, share some of the details. You
Sure,
can share.
thanks, Commissioner, and we were going to have some visuals. The groundbreaking went a little longer. We'll show them at the next meeting, but we had a great groundbreaking, and we talked about that. Everybody's aware, and we'll share a lot of posts on Facebook. But it kicks off the project that everyone's excited about, and we'll have some more pictures at.
Bill, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrus.
I'm going to punt this to Aaron.
Thanks, Commissioner Andrus. One item recommended by the Township Actuary that will be coming before the board in regular meeting is updating certain assumptions that are in our pension plan. So pensions are calculated essentially based on three items: your current market value of your asset, assumed returns. So what in your plan you assume a certain return each year, and then the life expectancy of employees. Many years since we've updated our mortality table. So our actuary is asking us that it's time to updated model that's more accurate. As well as the actuary is saying that it is time also to reduce our assumed returns because they haven't been as realistic as taking a more realistic approach to our pension calculations. With that, our liability then will increase significantly. So what the actuary is recommending, and we'll have a resolution in 2 weeks, is that we initiate a smoothing. And some of the commissioners are familiar with this. Every town has smoothed over the years. Everybody after '08 was smoothing when the market. We've been pretty good position in the last few years based on market performance. 22 was a very rough year, so our latest valuation dipped, but 23 was a good year, and 24. So as we make these modifications, the actuary highly recommends that we smooth in those changes rather than the township having to pay for them all upfront in year one. It's a difference of probably a swing of $1 million, which in our budget is significant. With the smoothing, with some of the changes, our increase would only be in the $300,000 range for 2025. Responsible approach to update and modernize our pension plan. So I will share with the board in our packet for the regular meeting the comments and the thoughts from our actuary, as well as a resolution that would allow the township to enter into this smoothing. Found out some of the obligations moving forward.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, Township Manager's Report. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder to everyone, like in years past, in 2 weeks, we will be recognizing some 5 excellent women from Hatfield Township who do great work in our community, one from each ward, like we have in the last few years. So we hope that we'll come out to support them as the commissioners recognize them for all the work they do in Hatfield.
All right, good one. Looking forward to it. All right, Solicitor's Report. Here, citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? None of the three of you have any question? I'm just joking. Yeah. All right, with that then, well, Mr. Solicitor, did I capture everything I needed to capture? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there such a motion? Motion by Commissioner Andrus?
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.